I am having my third son, which is so crazy. And I am so excited. I always get emotional filming these because if you guys know where my journey started, we tried to have kids for 6 years. It wasn't until we went to a fertility specialist that I found out that my AMH levels were really low, so I wasn't ovulating, so we went through IVF. I have a whole video sharing with you guys our journey when we started to try to have our first baby, who is Benjamin. He is 2.5 years old now. 12 months later, we welcomed our second baby, Luciano, who was conceived naturally by God's grace, by a miracle. I mean, it was just so mind-blowing that I was able to conceive on my own afterwards. And then here comes a third surprise just a year later. So we will be having 3 kids under 3. And I think back of, you know, when we wanted to have children so bad. And I remember when I had a miscarriage, like after, you know, all of us, both of me and Ricardo, of us wanting to have a child so bad, just to have that joy taken away from us. And now we are about to have our third baby. I'm so excited. I can't wait. You know, and it's just, there's a million things that are going in my head right now. Am I nervous? I'm sure you're wondering if I'm nervous. I am just a little bit, just because of the adjustment, you know, from going from 1 to 2 right away, and then 2 to 3. It's you know, it's gonna be an adjustment, but I am so happy. This is the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I am just so happy, filled with so much joy. My heart is bursting. And the fact that we get to bring another child into this world, and I'm just so grateful for that. So I'm just praying that everything goes well, and I'm really excited not only to greet him, of course, and welcome him into this world and introduce him to his brothers, but just to have my body back is something that's going to be really nice too, because having pregnancies back to back, being pregnant for the past 4 years has really taken a toll on my body, and I just want to be able to pick up my toddlers and not feel pain. And I want to be able to do so many more things with them and play with them, and I am so excited for all that. Okay, right now Ricardo just went to go pick up some pizzas. We're going to be heading to the hospital. I put a blanket in there for you. A little bump shot. The sun's really bright out. It's 6 o'clock right now, 6 p.m. No, it's not. It's about to be 6 p.m. because that's when we were scheduled to be here. Hopefully the baby comes before midnight. I hope. Right, so we just got here. They immediately put me in the robe, and I want to show you guys a tour of the delivery room. So all of these have all kinds of medical supplies for when the baby is born. But it's a pretty spacious room. We have a TV over there. They start pulling like everything out when the baby starts to get near delivery. That's our bed, monitors. Ricardo's just chilling. This folds down to a bed. He brought his own pillow, and we brought his own blanket because they accommodate the mom, but the dad not so much. So we brought that. And then we have another stove here and in the bathroom. It's pretty nice. You have all of this over here, but what I like the best is the jets, because when I was in labor the last 2 times, these jets are low enough to where you can sit right here on the bench, and then it helps you with the pressure in the back and any pain in the back, and allows you to get some relief, which I really liked. And that is our delivery room. They also have a mirror up here, which you can choose if you, I think, don't they bring this down? They like bring this down and angle it so that you could see yourself giving birth, which I tried to do with Louis, but I couldn't really see.
No, with Benji. You tried
with Benji? Oh, it didn't work?
It did.
It did work with Louis?
And I think it helped you. So.
There you go. I don't even remember. Here's an update of what's been going on. They already got me on Pitocin, and the nurse missed the first time he tried to poke me. And he was like, oh shoot, which is never a good sign. And there was blood on the bed and there's blood on my gown. And I'm like, that is never a good sign. Especially when the nurse is the one freaking out. Oh, yeah. And he said I don't know what happened. And then he looked like he was new at his job. Oh. So the nurse just came in to check up on me. And I didn't want him to do it again because he looked so nervous after that. And I was like, it's okay, take your time. I'm like, I'm fine. I do fine with needles because I didn't want him to mess up again. But let me tell you, it was very painful. And then now he's got it on another vein. And that is painful now. It feels really uncomfortable, but I've gotten used to it. But yeah, not a great start. But other than that, the staff is amazing. The nurses have been so nice and accommodating, and brought us like drinks, so we can just chill here. And we're literally just having the time of our lives, just chilling, because when we're at home we're always with our toddlers, and bedtime routine, you know, it's always chaotic, and then we're so exhausted by then. So it's nice to just actually sit down and not do much. And apparently I have a high pain tolerance because I've been having contractions and I don't even feel them. And the ones that I do feel are the ones that I felt at home for a long time. I've had Braxton his contractions and I always forget what they feel like. I know it sounds strange, but when I'm at home and I feel those pains, I'm like, oh, it's just like lightning crotch, or it's just the baby moving or something. But no, they have been contractions, and I've been feeling them because I feel them now and they feel exactly how they felt at home. So I've been contracting at home and not even knowing it. Are you ready, Dad?
Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you. No one else makes me feel this way, don't know what you do. Hold my hand, could you hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright.
He's not happy. Although he figured out now it's like, oh, it's a swear. I'm okay.
I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer. I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side.
So it's a couple days later and I wanted to give you guys an update of what's been going on. The last time I talked to you guys, I was still on Pitocin, and I believe I was dilated maybe 3 centimeters. Well, 12 hours later, I got as far as 6 centimeters, and it was really scary because I was just laying there sleeping after my epidural, trying to get some rest, and then all of a sudden 5 nurses came in all at once and started checking the monitors, and it scared me. Of course, when something like that happens, you don't know what's wrong. And then my doctor talked to me and told me that the baby's heart rate was decreasing, and that when I would get contractions, the baby would feel stressed out. And she told me that she believed that there was probably a cord stuck somewhere. Maybe the cord was wrapped around him, possibly his neck, and that he wasn't coming down anymore, and I wasn't dilating at the speed that I should have been. So she told me that the best decision for the safety of both the baby and I is to have a C-section, and that was not what I had in mind. I know that that's a possibility when it comes to giving birth, and it happened to my sister, and I just remember how difficult it was for her, both having the emergency C-section, being taken to the back. She said that she felt like she couldn't breathe, and that she started having a panic attack, and just the entire experience was very traumatizing for her. And the same thing happened to her, where the baby, or my nephew, what his heart rate started to drop down, and they needed to get him out fast. And then her recovery, oh my goodness, I just remember that she cried a lot and that it was really, really hard for her. And with her second C-section too, when she had her daughter, because she just couldn't move. She couldn't do a lot of things herself. And her and I are very similar alike in the fact that we're extremely independent. We're very energetic and we need to move around. Even for me with this pregnancy, it was extremely hard for me because it was really painful. But something that really was difficult for me was not being able to pick up my kids as much because I was in so much pain with my pregnancy, and just to elongate that process of me not being able to do much, just, I don't know, puts me in a position where it makes me scared. And so when the doctor told me that, I just panicked because I was scared for my baby. I was scared that I was gonna go through the same thing that my sister went, but then I had to like calm myself down and just give myself a pep talk and say, I am strong, I can do this. Many women have gone through this and, you know, they have survived, and I've never had surgery in my life before, so that was something else that was really scary. After like 10 minutes of just like trying to compose myself, then I'm like, yes, let's do this. Like, let's get myself prepared, because my doctor was like, we can wait, you know, to see how he continues to do the contraction. She's like, but then if we wait too long, it becomes an emergency, like Ricardo won't even be able to be back there with you. You would just have to take you and we'd have to put you to sleep immediately, instead of slowly trying to get you, not slowly, but instead of like calmly being able to put you in the position where you need to have your C-section. We don't want something just to happen all of a sudden and then just rush you to the back and you not have anybody with you. She's like, so she left it up to me eventually, but she told me that it needed to happen. So it was really scary. And Ricardo doesn't do very well with that stuff either. So he started to feel really anxious and scared for me, because he knew that I was upset. But I was like, Ricardo, I got this. Like, I'm strong. I can do this. Don't worry about me. You know, just, we're going to be okay. I just want our sweet baby to be healthy and to be fine. Well, it turns out that the cord was wrapped around his neck, and he was in a position where he was, I guess she called it sunny side up, where like his face was facing up, and he was in a terrible position for him to calm down, and I wasn't dilating anymore. So I would have needed the C-section regardless. Whether I got induced or not, whether I did anything, because just the position that he was in, which I didn't expect, it being the third time you're delivering a baby for like the third year in a row, almost for the third year in a row, you expect it to go so much faster. You hear about everybody saying, oh, my labor was so much easier the third time around. The baby just came flying out because your body already knows what to do, but you just never know. Every pregnancy is different. Every birth experience is different for everybody, and even yourself. So I'm just glad that we got him out. He was safe. He has a little cut from the incision because of the way that he was positioned when they opened me, which scared me a lot, but his pediatrician looked at it and he told me that he was completely fine. It was just a minor cut. He was born on May 22nd, which is his due date. And he's healthy, he's strong, and it makes me so glad that we made the right decision, and that I was already in the hospital when all of that happened, and I had the support of my mom and Ricardo there the whole time, and my doctor's amazing, and she just talked me through everything, and it was a different experience for sure, a little scary, but it was better than I expected it to be. And honestly, having a C-section wasn't as scary as I imagined it in my head. I just meditated through the whole thing, and it's funny because I didn't even realize that I was doing that. The anesthesiologist was right next to me to make sure that everything went well, and at one point I felt like I couldn't breathe, like my sister said, and I was like, I feel like I can't breathe, and I didn't want to start to panic. And so I noticed that something that I'm really good at is controlling my breathing, and I can get myself out of situations where I'm gonna have a panic attack or I feel really anxious just by my breathing. And the anesthesiologist was just like, it's okay, this is normal, it's gonna feel like that because of the medication and, you know, the position that you're in, and, you know, this is going to pass, you just need to take deep breaths. So I was like, okay. So the whole time I started to breathe in, and then I would hum it out, and then I would take another deep breath, and I did that the entire time, and I felt really calm through the entire situation. I felt at peace, and I was even able to prevent the shakes afterwards, which I was shocked at, because to me, the shakes are much more scarier than actually pushing a baby out. I don't know why. The shakes, they're so uncontrollable that I go into full panic mode. And I've had a panic attack both times that I had given birth when I started shaking, because my body just starts to convulse and I have no control over it, and I feel like I'm just gonna pass out, and that scares me. So because I was breathing that way, I started to feel the shakes, and I just kept breathing that way and concentrating on my breathing. And even though I started to shake a little bit, like it just passed by so fast that I eventually calmed my entire body in order not to experience that. And I am so proud of myself for that. The recovery part is so much harder though than a natural birth, I will say that. In a natural birth, or should I say vaginal birth, in a vaginal birth, I was up within a couple hours being able to go to the bathroom and whatnot. But with a C-section, the first day or that day after giving birth, I was extremely dizzy from all the pain medication. I was nauseous. That's why I didn't film any of it. The only thing that I literally did was eat, nursed my baby, and tried to sleep because the room was spinning the entire time. So I didn't get to do much. It's kind of a blur. And I didn't get to walk around for a while until later on that day. I wasn't able to get out of my bed because I was hooked up to like all this pain medication still, the IVs. And I didn't get a chance to actually get up on my 2 feet until maybe like 12 hours after giving birth or so, maybe less than that. Honestly, I have no time reference of what was going on because I was just so dizzy. So it might have been like 7 hours after giving birth or so, but I just remember it being giving birth around 12, and then it was like already the sun was down by the time they had me get up on my feet. And the first time I couldn't even get up because it was just too painful. And then they gave me a couple more hours, gave me more pain medication, and then I was finally able to get up and take a few steps. And that to me is scary, not having control of my body. But I've been recovering well. I can get up, I can walk. Right now, baby's getting checked. And his name is Viago, James Villa. We love that name so much. Ricardo likes it because there's a soccer player that he really likes. He's always loved that name. When we were going through our name suggestions, that's always been one that's been on top of our list, and so we get to use it now. Thiago, our little baby Thiago, and we're gonna call him TJ. So he's healthy, he's fine, he's perfect, he's adorable. Oh my goodness, I'm so in love, and I'm so happy that he's okay. That's what's most important. And I know right now I'm saying it that I'm gonna be strong, and I'm gonna have to go through the recovery of C-section, but I know when I get back home it's gonna, you know, like withdrawing my hormones, and with my hormones shifting and all of that, I know that it's gonna be difficult for me, but I'm gonna try and stay strong because I want to hold my kids so bad. But I know I'm not going to be able to pick them up for at least a couple weeks or several weeks, and I know I'm going to need help. I don't like feeling like a burden to anyone, so whenever I need help from somebody else, like, it makes me extremely upset when I can't do it myself. And I think that's where a lot of moms, I think that's why a lot of moms go through postpartum depression. I haven't gone through postpartum depression with my other 2 pregnancies, and I hope that with this postpartum recovery I don't either. That's something that I'm trying to stay on top of, and just remind myself that I need the help, and that it's okay to ask for help, and that it's okay that I'm recovering, and that it's only temporary. So that is all the updates that I have for you guys. And I'll show you some footage of my sweet baby boy. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. He looks like Benji. He has those big eyes, and as soon as he was born, I'm like, oh my god, that's Benji all over again. So he's gonna look like Benji. He also has like curly hair. I don't know if it's gonna stay. I don't know if it's because it was wet, obviously, when he came out of the womb. But after he took a bath too, he had like little curls, and I'm like, oh, is he gonna have curls like immediately? Because it took like about a year for Benji to have, or for Benji's hair to start curling. And with Louis, we were just waiting for the year to see if his hair would be curly, and his is straight. So I don't know, this baby might have curly hair right away, or he may not. But either way, he looks just like Benji. It's crazy. They're bringing my baby back, and I'll talk to you guys later.